Good morning, Arthur Rafferty, ASNI-TV. Now, this morning I would like to say a few words about the Arthur Rafferty Foundation. That is another one of my groups. At the present time, I am looking into the murder of my father. I have just received confirmation from the International Criminal Court in The Hague in the Netherlands. They are now looking into his case as a war crime. Now, my father was brutally murdered by a five-man gang of Sinn Féin IRA, who openly admit that they were at war in Northern Ireland for over 40 years. And my father was abducted by two members of the gang, both armed, from a pub in North Belfast on the 15th of August 1974. And as a prisoner of war, they frog-marched my father to a house in Newton Street, where two other members of the gang were waiting to murder him. The Geneva Convention states that a prisoner of war should be shown full respect and treated with dignity as his human rights entitles him. My father was shown no respect at all. He tried to run down the street and both gunmen chased after him. One gunman shot 12 rounds from an armalite rifle at him at close range. 5 hit my father in the back and legs. The other 7 rounds missed my father. My father at that time was unarmed. The Sinn Féin IRA man who shot my father was head of their nodding squad. He also was an informer for the RUC Special Branch and also was an informer for the British Army's Forces Research Unit. They are a unit of the British Army who supply informers. Now, his code name was Stickknife. The 4 other members of the murder gang were all RUC Special Branch informers. These Sinn Féin IRA murderers had the full backing of the corrupt RUC and the British Army into the murder of my father, as the area was kept clear of any security forces despite at that time the Shankill Road butchers were operating in North Belfast area. I have no doubt that there was collusion between Sinn Féin IRA and the security forces into the murder of my father. I asked for help from the British government, the RUC, the Ombudsman, the HCT, the Human Rights, the Equality Commission, Amnesty International, also those useless so-called politicians in Stormont, but got no help at all from them. I have also wanted the BBC and the UTV to air my father's murder, but both have declined. After all, both these two corrupt companies are run by the British government and are pro-Sinn Féin IRA. Now, I myself have solved my father's murder after 40 years and have named the 5 Sinn Féin IRA scum who carried out the murder. The British government, the Ombudsman, the RUC, the British Army all know who murdered my father, but are not going to arrest him. He is immune from arrest and is untouchable because he worked for the British government. His code name is Stickknife, and he is guilty of many murders on their say-so. I know who this man is and where he is living under the protection of the British Army. All the information I have about Sinn Féin IRA I have given to the War Crimes Commission with all the names of the Sinn Féin IRA war criminals who have been guilty of mass murder of innocent people, both men, women and children, in their so-called war. The Sinn Féin IRA war criminals were rewarded by the British government for their war crimes by putting them into that puppet government of Stormont, calling them politicians, sharing power with bigots. But sure, what can you expect from Great Britain, as there is no bigger war criminals than them? Now, I look forward to hearing from the War Crimes Commission and see those war criminals stand trial. Now, anyone who has had a member of their family murdered by Sinn Féin IRA, loyalist groups or the security forces can contact me, as I will make a list of other innocent people who were murdered in this so-called war, and I will pass their names to the War Crimes Commission so that they can look into their cases also. Now, if you would rather speak to me face to face, just phone my mobile 07715 921137 and I will call out to speak to you and get your story. And if you want me to air it on my ASNI TV show, I will do it free. Good morning. Now, anyone who would like a tip of this story or any one of my other stories can call me on my mobile 07715 921137. Leave your name and address and I will send you a tip free. Anyone who has a story to tell and wishes me to air it can call me on my mobile, or I can send a reporter out to get your story. And remember, I will tell your story as you tell me. Nothing will be cut out. Now watch more of my stories on YouTube, ArthurRafferty.com, YouTube Arthur Rafferty, Arthur Rafferty Docker, YouTube Jackspot 2012. My email address is arthurrafferty1@gmail.com. Thank you for watching ASNI TV. I will see you soon and good morning.